So, welcome everybody to today's panel discussion about Google Solution Challenge. We are honored to have with us today some of the previous top 50 winners of the Global Solution Challenge who will share their experience and insight with us. My name is Subhanshu Rao, one of the machine learning co-leads at GDSC DTU. So, before we start, let me welcome my co-host for today, Shailesh.
Thank you, Subhanshu. Hi everyone, I am Shailesh Kumar Sahu and I am one of the strategy co-lead at GDSC GTU. And now let's start with a brief introduction of Google Solution Challenge. The challenge is an annual event that invites innovators, developers, and entrepreneurs from around the world to develop and submit solutions for the world's most pressing problems. And in today's event, we have someone special for you. We have the privilege of hearing from some of the top 50 Solution Challenge winners who will share their valuable insights and experiences for anyone considering participating in the future. Now, I would like Subhanshu to introduce our guests.
So today we are having with us Miss Tia Saxena, Mr. Akash Garg, and Miss Aditi Agarwal from Team Rectify. And we also have Mr. Aman Sheikh from Connect and Help here with us. And they were the global top 50 team in 2022 Solution Challenge. And we'll be talking about the experience and the challenges that they face and their overall journey with the Solution Challenge. So knowing their experience will be helpful for those who are like really planning to take part in Solution Challenge this year.
So, for those who don't know about GDSC, let me give you a quick rundown. GDSC is a student-led organization that helps students to gain insights about the latest developer products, and we are the DTU chapter of GDSC.
That's right. Our panelists have a wealth of knowledge and experience to share. And now, like, we are looking forward to hearing from them. So without further ado, let's get started. So as we all know, like in previous session, we have talked about the challenge. Like it's basically focusing on like the 17 sustainable goals that have been set by UN. So I would request Team Rectify to first, like, could you go ahead and talk about your project for the solution challenge and what motivated you to solve that project?
So before starting, let me correct you. Our project name was Proctify, and basically Proctify was a portal for a physiotherapy patients and physiotherapists to keep a daily track of the patient's progress. What it does is it helps in post estimation and calculate some metrics like sets, reps, range of motion, and patient or not. It helped both patients and physiotherapist doctors to to stay on track, and it also have a dynamic dashboard which can be also seen by the patient and the doctors. And the source of motivation, I think Tia should tell, because it was her from her side.
Okay, so hey everyone. So the motivation behind Proctify was like one of my relatives is my sister. So she is a physiotherapist. So I have a close picture of the plight of physiotherapy in India, and like we know that this is one of the potential areas where we can contribute to, because physiotherapy is any day one of the most neglected domains, right? So we did a lot of research around physiotherapy, and there are multiple patients who drop out of physiotherapy just because they don't see quick results. So there are multiple reasons why we thought that health sector, and inside of health sector we should go for physiotherapy. So that was the reason, very personal. And apart from that, this virtualizing ka fashion is there, right? Be it edtech or anything. Like after COVID, everything is so much virtualized. So we thought of like, why not this? So that was the real motivation behind why did we choose to go with the health sector, and we decided to go on with the development of Proctify.
So same question for Mr. Aman, like what motivated you to select this project?
Sure, Subhanshu. Thank you for the intro. And apart from that, I would just like to quickly talk about our project, Connect and Help. And to everyone listening, I would like to just mention that solution challenge in itself, I don't think it is about just finding a solution and rushing to make a project just because you need to. I think it is a process, right? And that process starts with the seed of an idea. So very funnily, I guess my idea started out as a waste management idea, and I was trying to eliminate the problem of improper waste management in our country, which I think we all can agree on. It's very inefficient how waste is managed. So it started out from that, but then we thought of why limit ourselves to something such specific, such niche, right? When we can expand. So then when I created a team, which again was a very important step from the perspective of solution challenge, because creating a team meant that we had to create a group of individuals that fit like a jigsaw puzzle, right? We couldn't have three different puzzles or three different pieces of the same type. We wouldn't fit. So our team was selected in such a way that we all fit together. And then we worked upon the idea, and eventually we turned it into a portal. Just like how you could say Amazon is a portal for all sorts of goods. Our project was a portal for humanitarian purposes. So it could connect you with NGOs, and it could find you the nearest NGOs, it could give you nearest sustainability events. For example, let's say you live in a place, for example, you live in Delhi, right? So all the sustainability events in Delhi happening around you. So you're probably laying on your couch on a lazy Sunday and you decide, chalo, aaj kuch kar lete hain, you do something productive, you do something good for the community, right? Giving back. So helping out people who want to help, want to give back to the community, that was what Connect and Help was all about.
Oh, that was really great. I mean, that was an amazing. Over to you, Shailesh.
Yeah. Now, what were the things that you kept in mind while selecting the goals and the problem statement? To Aman Sheikh.
Yeah, so primarily our focus was to first find out what problem exactly are we aiming to eliminate. As in when I talked about the waste management part, right? So our waste management problem statement was very straightforward. There is improper waste management and we need to focus on eliminating it. But then when we branched out to creating a sort of portal which could offer a variety of services, we had to decide on what exactly were we trying to focus on. Because we could not just make a portal and have probably 50 or 60 services on it. Right now, the scope wasn't as much. So we wanted to specify what we were exactly going to work on. And in that process, brainstorming played a key role. And not just among the team, I think brainstorming with our faculty, as well as I took a lot of help from my seniors back in the time. I was in my second year when I was making the project. So I took help from my GDSC lead very much, and even more so from all the different seniors I had at the time. And, talking to all those people made me gain all these different perspectives that I don't think I would have been able to achieve on my own. And that helped me streamline the way I wanted my project to go in some sort of direction. And doing that, we were able to narrow down on specific goals that we wanted to focus on. Yeah.
Okay. And Team Proctify?
Okay, so I think for selecting the problem statement, we had one thing in our mind that we don't want to make something that is so obvious, right? Or which is a common hackathon project. And we actually want to build something that is actually, firstly, the need of the market. Number two, that is something different so that you can vouch for. And, when you're presenting it to the Google, so it is like, they get this sense of clear picture that this product, okay, India needs it. Right? Because you have to validate why are you building a certain product. So that was one. And of course, we wanted to solve with something that is not solved. So that, and also while you choose on to the problem statement, it is very important that you should be invested into it totally. Like it should be intriguing to you at the same time. So just we had loads of brainstorming sessions. That's one of the core things that helped us and to filter us the problem statement for us. So yeah.
Yeah, that was very insightful.
And before we go on to next question, I would like to tell the audience, Miss Aditi from Team Proctify has also joined us. So moving on to the next question, since Mr. Aman, you mentioned in your previous answer about the importance of the team and how like team is really essential for any of the hackathons. So I would love to ask like Team Proctify and you, like what, like while building a team for hackathon, like what are the things you basically consider in your fellow teammates? So to Team Proctify.
So basically, we were not that very good coders at that time, back in the time that, and we were basically kind of noobs, right? So, but we were enthusiastic about our project and to take part in and to learn new things. So, I think someone we should take in our team that. Which is very enthusiastic in learning and gaining experience should be the main priority, and not just taking any random friends for enjoyment or something is good.
I think we all can relate to that. In our first and second year, we're all like, okay, मुझे coding आती नहीं है, तो मैं hackathon करूँ कैसे? So we just don't take part in it because we think कि हमें coding का knowledge नहीं है, तो how do we go about it? So that is a really good way of looking at it.
And to Mr. Aman, like what did you consider while forming your team? Like since you mentioned like, and you have to find teammates who actually fit really well and they can actually gel together for building a project. So what were the things that you kept in mind while forming your team?
So talking about my progress, primarily, see, the idea that I was focusing on, right, the waste management idea. So it was an idea that I sprouted myself. So what I was doing on my behalf, so for example, if I have an idea, I reached out to the community. I talked to my lead and he created a separate group in which he just talked to, the official group. He just sent out a poll, I think, or whatever it was at that time. He just sent a yes. I think polls didn't exist at that time. Send a yes if you're interested. And he created different group. And he added people there. And he told me, ki, you play with all these people now and you find whatever you like best, whoever is, fruitful to your idea. So there I started talking with all these people. I had like around 30, 40 people in the group. And I just told them my idea. I'm like, see, this is what I have planned. You tell me how you guys can help me out in this. I want to achieve something out of this. And from there, I had to specify what I was aiming for, right? So I think the first step is like at least finalizing the infrastructure. You want to build an Android app, or you want to build an iOS app, you want to build a web app, whatever the infrastructure is, at least one of the platforms you need to finalize on so that you can find out the technical perspective of it. ठीक है चलो मुझे at least web app पे focus करना है. I can take people who are good at, let's say, front end and back end, right? So from there, I decided that I wanted to do a web app, right? So a web app would be preferably better for the portal I was for the idea I was trying to go for. So in that sense, I went for people who had knowledge with data science because we were going to deal with large amounts of data. And I also went for people who could help me out with HTML and front end coding, basically, right? So essentially, my goal was to create a team who could give me something. They could provide something for me, as long as it's coming down to achieving the motive that we are set out to achieve. So we did make different alterations. As I said, we brainstormed and all of that, but that was later on. Initially, the team was formed on the sole basis that these people can bring something to the table. And I think that is what's important when you are choosing a team. Don't go for any sort of, favors or anything, as Akash said. I would say that just go for the people who have the talent which fits your needs. Yeah, that's it.
So, as Aman said, team members should be different pieces of puzzle. So, how important do you believe it is for team members to continuously educate themselves, especially if they are not familiar with the technical stacks being used in the solution challenge? And can you share some of the go-to resources for staying updated on the latest industry trends and technologies? Over to Aman.
Sure. So talking about our experience, we were working with, as you all know, I think it's a pretty common fact that you guys know that Google Solution Challenge is about using at least one of the Google technologies, right? So you need to be aware of one of the technologies before you submit your project because you're going to use it in your project, right? But let me be frank here, none of us knew any of the Google technologies that they told us to use, right? So we had zero experience in any of that. But we knew some of the things. किसी को आता है front end, someone knows back end, someone knows data science, someone knows probably JavaScript, someone knows Node.js. So we collected all of these skills, and then later on, when we had to use the Google technology, we decided, okay, what can we actually use? हमने सोचा था we will use Google Maps integration. We did not really end up doing that, but we thought of it. We thought of deploying the web app on Google Cloud, but we did not have enough access to resources back then. So we also dropped that idea. So finally, we ended up using Firebase to store our database. As I said, we were going to deal with lots of data. And Firebase ka idea kisi ko bhi nahi tha from our team. But we did end up learning it. And what we did was just we went out and we talked to people who knew. So we talked to some of our seniors, and usme se some of the people knew Flutter, someone knew something else, someone knew someone else. So connectivity, I think, is very important when it comes to all of this. So I talked to a couple of people who knew a couple of people who knew Firebase, and that's how we connected with them, and that's how we learned. And I think that's the beauty of it. That's the process, right? As I said, it's not just about accomplishing the final goal. It's about the process. You talk to people, and they won't be rude to you. You just have to talk to them, and they will help you out eventually. So I think connectivity plays a big role when it comes to learning about new technologies. And obviously, there's the Google, you could say the documentation, official Google documentation, which is very easy to understand. Flutter as well. I've tried to learn it myself, and it was very easy to learn. So yeah, there's that.
And Team Proctify.
So from I think Aman very well said that all the things, but I would like to add that we should, if we are interested in something, like we have to use Flutter or Firebase in our project, we should follow experts from LinkedIn and Twitter. So I think LinkedIn and Twitter played a very good source of connectivity for us to contact the experts and help to get help in our project. Yeah.
I had one question from Team Proctify. So we were talking about how commitment and seeing the other person, if they can actually work on the project, is important. So the three of you, Aditi, Tia, and Akash, what was your journey? How did you guys meet each other? How did you start working on the project?
Okay. So for us, it was never an idea, and then after the idea came, and then we started for a team. We've been friends, and we actually gave a couple of hackathons before. So we knew each other, the skill sets, and we actually gel up with each other very. So we gelled up at the initial stages. So the team was before with us. After that, when we attended by mistake GDSC ka session, which was for this only Google Solution Challenge. So there we decided, let's go into this hackathon. So that was the short and sweet journey. It was all random. It was never like we want to get into it or something like that. So it was just, we treated it just like any other hackathon. So we never thought of coming to Global Top 50 or doing anything big like that. We were just treating it like other hackathons, and we should try, get in there, learn, and yeah, that was it from our part.
It's a really good story. It's lovely. So sometimes it happens na ki teams mein you have conflicting opinions about whatever parts, segments of project जिस पे आपको काम करना है. So when you have conflicting opinions, how do you tackle those things? कि ये करना है, ये नहीं करना है इस project में.
Conflicting, though, yeah, there were many brainstorming sessions, very many heated arguments. We used to just, we did what we did. So, but that all actually helped us refine the idea, and that all actually got us into Global Top 50.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think brainstorming actually makes things, though heated up, but actually it is very important for the refinement of the idea, right? So, होता था ऐसा, हमारी टीम में भी हम लड़ते ही थे थोड़ा बहुत तो but it is like we knew each other's domain. Like Aditi is very good in content creation and stuff like that. I am a fronted person. Akash backend, we have a CV guy. So it is like the team was wholesome for us, and the project that we were making, we were a complete fit. So during that time, so yeah.
Right. Aditi, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I think I would like to add that um, every member of our team, though qualified of their own in their skill set, but they respected each other's skill set very much. So whenever we had conflicts, uh, we had arguments, lots of them, but every opinion was still considered equal. So that really, like, I think maybe our journey before, because we had given some hackathons before as well. So all of that combined just really helped us interact with each other very good.
Right. So basically, knowing one's domain is important.
Yes, yes. And we were actually interested in each other's domains as well. So we did extra research on that as well. So we were not just like criticizing or throwing empty accusations, something like
Right.
that. We did our research and then put forward our opinions and then brainstormed together.
Okay, got it. Over to you, Shubhanshu and Shailesh.
So I was just wondering, like most of the time when we are talking about such hackathons, we basically tend to see that they are the winners, and we generally, what as a humans, we tend to focus on the limelight. But I would love to know about the problems and the failures that you faced while building this project. So basically, like there must be a point you felt like, यार अब नहीं हो रहा मेरे से, like क्या कहाँ फंस गए, इस टाइप से like आता है thought being a student and working on such big things. So I would love to know about this. So over to you, Miss Aditi. Like, could you please tell me about such instance that your team faced while working on the project?
Sure. We had failures all the time. Every step we thought we should give up. This is not made for us. So, but I think our team, like individually, we would have given up very, very fast. But I think as a team, we were like, okay, I think we can. Someone would put something forward, and then we would improvise again. Then we would work on it again, and then we would take it forward. So, but that didn't. But like when someone put forward something, everyone got interested. So we started working again. So that zeal was not lost, and getting into top 50 was a complete shock. We did not accept it. Our submission was made at the like last 30 seconds of the deadline. So it was all a huge mess, but yeah, we accomplished that. So we were again filled with newfound energy. So all these are just stepping stones, right? Failures, successes. So it's all a journey, and then we got where we are, and we are like, yeah, we achieved that.
And Mr. Aman, like while you were working on your project, was there any moment you felt like, okay, it's quite tough for me now, and I don't want to continue with this thing? Or there was a particular instance where you felt like, okay, this is a really big issue, and how I'm going to solve it, it's going to take a lot of time. So would you love to share such, like, if any moment you had like that?
Yeah. A lot of times. I think especially when we were playing around with data, right? So because we had to collect a database. I mean, we did see, we had a big database of NGOs, as our app was about connecting NGOs with the right people. So we did have a database of NGOs, but then the question was, how many of these NGOs are willing to help? You know, so we also had to go out and talk to a couple of the NGOs and then check if they actually want to connect to people and they want to provide services. Because see, there is one thing that NGOs do, right? So they do services on their own. But then you won't see it very often that they're going through a third-party app and they're going through a mediator. They usually prefer to be hands-on with the people that they're working with. So we did face kind of an issue with that, but we did groundwork. We actually talked to people, and we did realize that itna koई masla nahi hai. It's not that big of a deal. It sounds lot bigger in your head. But once you realize that the problem is much smaller, once you face it, right, you'll actually see that the problem is much smaller. So, yeah, I think whatever problems you do face, just glide through it. I mean, the more you work on it, eventually you're going to find a way out, because it's not just you and your perspective on it. You have a team of people. So all of these different perspectives will give you a whole 360-degree view on the whole issue. So that will help you out eventually.
So that was very insightful. And in the previous answer, Tia said that they hadn't thought to participate in a solution challenge and coming to top 50, and they just participated understanding any hackathon, considering it a hackathon in general. So how do you think participating in solution challenge will help students or any other hackathon in general?
Okay, so actually participating in hackathons is going to gift you with a lot of things. Firstly, you learn to work in a team. You get this thing in your body that ठीक है अभी ये tech stack नहीं आता but कोई बात नहीं सीख के बना ही लेंगे. ऐसा initially ना it is like as a fresher in hack you get overwhelmed कि dude I don't know how to build this, how can I go into a hack, but actually it is never like that. आपको आता है नहीं आता है is never a question, you want to do it is the main thing. So आप given constraint में how to complete a project आप वो सीखते हो hackathons में जाके. आपको confidence आएगा कि आप अपने product को कैसे vouch करोगे, right? How do you make people believe in you and your project that you are making? There is a lot of networking that comes along with that. So yeah, and also one more thing, it adds to your resume. Of course, it does. You win a couple of hackathons, or even if you don't win, the project session gets built. You learn the new tech stack. You go for internships. So there you see, they also look into na, ki what work are you doing. So udhar bhi dikhta hai ki okay, you are a team player. You have done this, you know this, and this is the project jahan pe you can validate yourself. So hackathons any day teach you a lot. So just get started with it, no matter if you know just the HTML and CSS, let's say.
And Aman, what are your points on this?
Yeah, I mean the goodies. No, coming to the point. Obviously, there are the goodies. Yeah, we won't ignore that. There are the perks of participating in hackathons because the incentives are obviously very beautiful on the other side. So, but apart from that, I think our main purpose, to work in this hackathon, especially Google Solution Challenge, was to gain exposure. We really wanted to see how these things actually work because we were very new to the technical community. We were just like fresh coders out of the basket, and we wanted to see, let's see how much potential do we have. Like, what can we do? Again, like I think all the other participants, we never even expected to gain into the top 100, let alone top 50. It was a big surprise for us too because we were just very fresh in the market and we were just trying to see kitna coding potential hai. Let's just have a go. So we did our best to do whatever we can from our side. And I think one message I would just give is ki, in that moment when you're creating a project, there are stressful times, right? You'll have like this one day of stress. You'll heat up your mind to it's like a bukhar aa raha hai, and that sort of thing. But then you should remember that this will only probably last for 6 or 60 minutes in that day. 6 months later, when you look back, you'll realize that was just this small part of your journey. And it didn't really signify anything in the long run. So don't stress over things, I think, because that will just diminish your thinking capacity. Just go slowly through it, peacefully through it, and you will find a solution eventually.
And as in previous one of the answers, Akash mentioned like when you guys basically in Proctify decided to make the project, you guys were in your second year and you were really new to coding. So I want to know, like when you are in college, like I'm in second year as well. So it's really tough to manage our academics. Also, you have to practice DSA because you are planning to like get the interviews and internships. So how did you plan to how did you manage your week? How much time you devoted for building or learning for the solution challenge?
Okay. So basically कॉलेज का प्रेशर तो ऑब्वियसली था, लेकिन हमें खुद से अंदर से ये फीलिंग होनी चाहिए कि हमें आज कुछ करना है, अपने प्रोजेक्ट में कुछ ना कुछ वैल्यू एडिशन करनी है, राइट? हमें अपना क्या कहते हैं, सपोज बाय एनी चांस हम नहीं कर पाते तो एक दो डीएसए प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करके हमने अपना डे को प्रोडक्टिव बना लिया, या फिर किसी दिन हमने कोई अच्छा आइडिया आया तो अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ शेयर कर लिया हमने. तो इसी तरीके से मतलब मेरे हिसाब से हमने किया था अपने प्रोजेक्ट में कि मतलब कॉन्स्टेंटली हम अपने प्रोजेक्ट को बिल्ड कर रहे थे और लोगों से हम रिव्यू भी ले रहे थे. अब जैसे कि रिव्यू का प्रोसेस क्या था कि रिव्यू में भी हम ऐसा मतलब अपने अपने मतलब सीनियर से तो ले ही रहे थे, और हमने एक तरीका भी ढूंढा था कि हम एक काम करते थे कि हम जो छोटे छोटे हैकाथॉन्स, इंटर कॉलेज हैकाथॉन्स और ये सब आ रहे थे, उसमें भी हम जाते रहते थे और अपने इस प्रोजेक्ट को और रिफाइन करते रहते थे। वहां से हमें मेंटोरशिप मिलती थी, वहां से हम अपने प्रोजेक्ट प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट को और रिफाइन करते थे, जैसे जजेस हमें क्या कहते हैं रिव्यूज देते थे। तो इस तरीके से हमने अपने मतलब प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट को रिफाइन किया, अपने जगह जगह से मेंटोरशिप ली और सीखे, और कई कई हैकाथॉन्स हम जीते भी एंड गुड experiences भी मिले हमें उसमें, right? So, yeah.
Miss Tia, like, would you love to tell something about your week, like how you used to plan your week and how much time you used to contribute to the team's project?
Okay. So actually, when we started creating Proctify, I just started my journey as a developer, as a web developer. So for me, it was like I was into web development totally because it was anyway teaching me, right? So whatever I was learning, I was implementing at the same time. And to be honest, I'm not a DSA person. So that was not a problem for me. I used to invest totally into web development to learn, to build the project, to add some value, and yeah, to enjoy basically. So I totally loved what I was doing, and that was more than sufficient. Also, during that time, the part that I contributed in the project is also related to thoda sa computer vision ka. So again, that was something that intrigued me and that excited me. So I was looking into it like the more, right? So it was like that. और बाकी if you want to say कि बहुत सारे काम है college, अभी जैसे exams are going on, so it is okay, exams हो जाते हैं 2-3 दिन पहले पढ़ के. Just make sure you have this thing कि 2 घंटे इतना कर लिया, 4 घंटे इतना कर लिया, and just divide and just conquer. So yeah.
And Miss Aditi, would you like to add some more points to this?
Yeah, I would just like to add कि during the solution challenge development period, week though was totally packed, but the main thing is that you make sure that no time is being wasted, right? Like every second you get out of your college or mandatory studies, assignments, whatever, you have to dedicate that to solution challenge. Matlab, even when I was doing it, even when I was doing my other mandatory tasks, somewhere in the back of my mind, I was still thinking about my project, still improvising it, still adding new ideas or thinking about how I could solve some bug that we are facing. So, and we used to have not daily, we had alternative days. We almost had meets with our teams to improvise and brainstorm. So those are like really, really helpful. So like everyone is on the same page due to that. So that is how I think it's very clear ki don't waste time and have meets so that everyone is on the same page, so that it will just speed up things. You know, nobody would be lacking like that.
And Mr. Aman?
Yeah, we just used to allot the rest of our time after college, right? So our college used to usually end around 4:30. So after that, we used to sit for 2 hours in the library just doing our own thing. And after that, I mean, every day we used to define a specific task, right? Just for example, as I told you, we had a lot of work with data sets, right? So data sets, mein, I think we spent easily around a week or 2 on just cleaning the data sets because of all the data that there was. इतने NGOs है overall India में, and then you have to work with all of them और उसमें clean करने के लिए. So many of the data sets we got, उसमें मुंबई के लिए मुमाबी लिखा हुआ था, and then दिल्ली के लिए कुछ spelling mistake, मतलब you get the idea. So all the data was very jumbled up and बहुत problems आए थे. But we set daily tasks कि ठीक है आज हम ये इस पे focus करेंगे, right? So that helped us realize कि हम लोग हमारे project के हर segment पे कितना time spend कर रहे हैं. And that also helped us in documenting our journey, which again is a very important step from the perspective of Google Solution Challenge. You need to document your journey so that you can present it later on when you're submitting your project, right? So documenting ke liye, when you create all of these micro tasks daily and you allot time for that, I think it becomes way easier. So yeah, that would help, I guess. It did help us.
I'm sure our audience will definitely manage their time as you all given your insight. So now, apart from Google Solution Challenge, let's know about your journey so far as a student and as a developer. So, Aditi, would you like to share your journey?
I guess my development journey began last year around September. That's when I also gave my first hackathon, and that's how also I met two of my teammates, which were with me in Solution Challenge. So I started as a front end web developer. That's from there. I was doing a course from Free Code Camp. So basic HTML and CSS. I gave my first hackathon. We placed fourth in that. So that was a huge boost. So subsequently, I picked up other technologies, and we just keep on implementing it, making projects and all. Then when I came across Solution Challenge, I was at a stage where I thought that maybe I should try some big project now. Like then I was like just getting started with React.js, but I was like, maybe I should. And there was like they gave around 1.5 months to implement your whole project in Solution Challenge. So I thought that yeah, maybe we can do something really crazy work in this Solution Challenge. So yeah, and I think we did a pretty good job in that as well. So yeah, that is how it was like for me.
And Priya, you.
So for me, initially, though, I was studying chemistry, physics, college ka first year and doing BSA. But after that, I decided ki let's have exposure to hackathon. Let's see how things. Hello.
I think we lost you a second ago. Could you repeat?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I was saying that first year mein I was studying all that physics, chemistry, whatever the college class syllabus was there. And also I was doing DSA. And then after that I thought of ki chalo let's go to hackathons and let's see how things are working there. So कुछ भी नहीं होता है अगर तो कम से कम PPT तो submit कर ही दोगे. So with that mindset, or to be very honest, we went to the first hack. Aditi was with me, and again we were placed fourth there, and yeah. So that was the time when I realized कि यार अब तो मजा आ रहा है. अब तो hackathon करते हैं, development करते हैं, and let's build ऐसा छोटा product and let's see where it takes us. So it was like we did one of the hackathon, second of the hackathon, and third was Google Hack, and it was like back to back. So after that, I am totally into development now. So I enjoy my journey thoroughly because, of course, I found my interest through it. It's not that I'm doing something which I'm not interested into. I'm making some cool projects. I'm building my resume, and I'm doing everything that is needed to land up in a good career, maybe future. So for me, it's like this.
And Akash, how are your journey?
So मैंने मतलब मेरे काफी जब मैं इनिशियली जब कॉलेज में आया तो मैंने स्टार्टिंग से अपने सीनियर से बात करना चालू कर दिया था. तो दे सजेस्टेड मी कि अपना डीएसए और अपने डेवलपमेंट को एक साथ चला के रखना, नहीं तो मतलब काफी डिफिकल्टीज आती है आगे. तो मैंने स्टार्टिंग से ही अपने डीएसए और डेवलपमेंट को एक साथ चलाया. एंड one thing I did was I shared my knowledge on LinkedIn, on Twitter. I posted what I studied. I shared my notes. I shared projects I made. And back in the month of October 2021, I shared a total. I did a 30 days challenge of making one small HTML, CSS, and JavaScript project, and it was a huge success. And I got to connect many people, and basically a lot of people appreciated me for that. And so yeah, that was the biggest motivation for me to go in this career, and yeah. So make projects in hackathons and good, yeah.
So
I think it's a very good point that Akash was sharing all of his projects and all on LinkedIn, because that's actually how I got to know him, and I got to know what he was doing, and I actually made him like reached out to him and talked to him, like connected with him. So that this is actually how you can find good people to connect with and participate together maybe in the future.
Yeah, I think putting yourself out there is really important because you never know. You're never gonna know if you're never gonna ask.
Absolutely.
And Aman, how are your journey?
Yeah. So again, from the first year itself, I was just experimenting into things, and I didn't think I can even count the amount of things I've tried out in the first year. I've put my hand in everything from cybersecurity to DSA to competitive programming to web dev, backend, front end, everything, literally every single thing I could get my hands on. I just tried everything out. And then I think when second year came, I could really focus on कि ठीक है ये चीजों में मुझे interest है, and these things are not really my thing. So that gave me a lot of clarity. So first year was my year of experimenting. I was totally focused on just finding out what appeals to me. So second year onwards, I started inclining more towards my interest. I did more of web dev, front end, and apart from that, I was also focusing on cloud, as in the cloud functions and just cloud hosting in general. So I also got into learning about AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, all of these different cloud providers, because I was very intrigued by cloud and how it's changing up in the real world right now. So going forward with that, again, I just went deeper into the likes that I gathered from the first year experience, right? So far I've just been doing that. I've been doing what I like, and yeah, it's been paying off really well so far. Yeah, that's what I would say.
So, I mean, we all know that after GDSC first round, like you have the learning and development period for 2.5 months. Then there is like the shortlisted participants, they are given a mentorship until the final submission. So, like, how was the mentorship? Like, could you tell something more about how the mentorship actually went? So, Mr. Raman.
Yeah. The mentorship, again, it was a very vital part, I think, of the whole solution challenge process. The mentors that were assigned to us by Google, they were exceptionally well, to say the least. So we assigned, I think, around 4 or 5 sessions. I can't remember quite well, but we had plenty of sessions with quite different mentors who focused on different aspects of our project. And I was just amazed by how fast they were at their responses and their pinpointed responses, right? So I think I remember there was this one one mentor that we had a session with, and she was an expert in marketing, and just as in like putting your product out in the general PR and marketing, I think. So she gave us very concise points about our project. She said, look, these are the strongholds of your project, and you need to focus this so that your project gets out into the market, and you just need to better them. And she made all of that conclusion. She drew that conclusion in about 10 minutes of looking at our project. So I was very amazed by how efficient these mentors were. So I would definitely recommend that if you do get to the mentoring phase, pay attention to what these people are telling you, because yeah, they do know their stuff, right? So pay attention to that and make use of that, right? So if you're given the mentorship from Google itself, make use of that and do not let it go to waste. Assign as many sessions as you can with all these mentors. I promise you, you will not waste any session. You will learn something new, because that's how good those sessions were. So yes.
And Team Proctify.
So basically, one second. So basically, in our mentorship session, we had around 3 or 4 mentoring sessions, and I totally agree with Aman that they were exceptionally good at what they were doing, and they gave very good suggestions to us and about our project. And एक चीज जो कि मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि उनके जो सजेशंस थे, आप उनको आप मानोगे, उनको आप इम्प्लीमेंट करोगे, एंड इससे आपको मतलब एक फ्यूचर में भी जैसे आपका मैनेजर आपको कोई चीज आपको बोलेगा, आपको करने के लिए कहेगा, तो आप उस पे भी आप ज्यादा अच्छे से फोकस, ये चीज वो जो मेंटोरशिप्स थे वो ऐसा उन्होंने वो चीज सिखाई हमें. एंड आई रिमेम्बर वन ML guy, Sayak Paul. He is now currently in Hugging Face. It is a GitHub of ML engineers, and he gave a very good suggestion of integrating ML features in our project. And we although we couldn't able to add it to our projects, but I think the suggestion was very good. And yeah.
So
yeah.
that covers a very important point, that mentorship is very important, and all the things they say are very important, and we should implement and should listen to them. Now the next question is about the freshers. Now we all know that as a fresher we came to college, we are very unaware about the tech stacks, or most of the freshers don't know about tech stacks. So what would be your advice for those freshers, and should they also participate in such hackathons? Over to Akash.
तो बेसिकली यस, टोटली यस. मतलब फ्रेशर्स को हैक में पार्ट लेना चाहिए. एंड आपको कोई डेवलपमेंट, किसी टाइप की डेवलपमेंट नहीं आती है, तो अपने ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग पे, आइडिएशन वाली जो फेज रहता है उस पर काफी ज्यादा ध्यान देना चाहिए. अपने जो मेरा पहला हैकाथॉन था, मुझे कोई भी डेवलपमेंट नहीं आती थी उस समय. एंड आई जस्ट मैं बस गया एंड लोगों के सोचने के प्रोसेस को मैंने एनालाइज किया कि बंदे कैसे सोचते हैं, कि जो हमें थीम्स दी जाती है उनके ऊपर वो कैसे दिमाग लगाते हैं. एंड उनसे मैंने लोगों से बात करी. एंड आई वॉज इनटू कॉलेज, मतलब बस 1 या 2 मंथ ही हुआ था मुझे कॉलेज में आए. एंड जब मैंने अपना पहला हैकाथॉन दिया था, एंड मैंने उसमें अपनी आइडिया की PPT सबमिट करी थी. तो एंड मैं जजेस को अपना आइडिया समझा पाया था. तो इट वाज आल्सो अ गुड फीलिंग फॉर मी. सो डेफिनेटली फ्रेशर्स को हैकाथॉन से पार्ट लेना चाहिए. आप अलग अलग एक्सपीरियंस, अलग अलग मोटिवेशन गेन करते हैं उससे.
So all those freshers who are in the meet, do note it down. And Aditi, what's your point on this?
Yes, I would like to say कि मतलब freshers, when we are freshers, when I was a fresher, I had absolutely no idea about even computer science, engineering. In सब का भी कोई, I had no particular clue about कि what I'm supposed to be doing or how to proceed and all. So I think first of all, the first step would be getting to know about technologies. What is the latest tech going on, tools around you. Maybe freshers could join their college communities, where they could interact with their seniors to know about all these stuff. I think just jumping into the a huge platform hackathon like Google Solution Challenge could be very intimidating for a absolute noob coder, or someone who is just getting out there starting. So I think before that they could just try to get into some smaller hackathons, for they should be familiar with the process. अब घुस तो गए अंदर, you are participating but you don't know what to do, so it can be very overwhelming, and उसके बाद it can lead to, like, I don't know, maybe they would just drop out of participating in hackathons ever. So if you are familiar with the process, उसके बाद if you approach these hackathons, then they are like a boon. They would be very insightful, because you will be faced with a lot of new challenges and situations and by that time your mind would be like developed on how to tackle those. So as a fresher, first of all, explore everything that's around you and actively participate in lower level hackathons, or maybe just sessions, webinars, any informative sessions and communities. Maybe once you have familiarized yourself with that, jump onto the huge things. You're set.
Yeah. And Tia, what would be your advice to the freshers?
For me, freshers in hack, they are like people with googly eyes. So first of all, you don't have to go with the mindset कि यार जीतना ही है या कुछ भी नहीं कर पाएंगे. Just go for the experience first of all. The first hack which I gave, I literally knew two things: HTML and CSS. So it is not about कितना आता है उसके बाद decide करूँगा. It is about killing the fear first, getting to know the process, getting to know the getting the exposure basically. So of course you should go and try how hacks are like, and of course you will find interesting. You will know कि बाकी लोग कर क्या रहे हैं. आपके साथ वाले बहुत कुछ करेंगे, आपको पता भी नहीं वो कर रहे हैं. So when you go to hack, people of your age group या फिर आपसे seniors भी, you will get to know कि where the world is standing, right? Not the world, but a chunk of it. So that is very important from what I think. बाकी if you are getting so much intimidated कि कुछ भी नहीं आता क्या करेंगे, maybe catch some good seniors ना. They go to hacks. Just you can be one of the teammates. It won't cost them much if they take a noob, let's say, because आप कैसे ना कैसे तो contribute कर ही दोगे यार, presentation बना के कुछ भी करके. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि आप कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे, आप तभी भी बहुत कुछ कर रहे हो जाके, because you are getting the experience and you are learning something. आप ऑब्जर्व करके ही सीख लोगे उनको बहुत कुछ. आपको पता लगेगा कि ठीक है ऐसे करते हैं, ये करना है, इसके बाद ये करूंगा, काइंड ऑफ. So it is very important to go into hacks because you learn the process and आपका ना journey वहां से decide हो रहा होगा. आपको आपके interest पता लग रहा होगा कि are you into, let's say, front end or back end or this or that. You'll get to know different technologies. But अगर आप एक fear की वजह से उस hack में नहीं जाओगे तो आपको कुछ भी नहीं मिला. आपको Flutter का नाम भी नहीं सुनने मिला, let's say. At least वहां जाके कुछ तो सीखा. So go to hacks. Irrespective कुछ आता है या नहीं आता, because आप कर लोगे. If you are given a constraint कि dude, you have 1 week, do this, you will be able to do. Trust yourselves and just go. Just get your hands dirty, because that's the most the good way I think to get started with anything. It's not that आप पूरा सीख लोगे तब आप start करोगे. Just get like that and you'll be able to do.
Yeah, that's a very important point you said. The participation is must, even if we don't know about other tech stacks, because that will give us experience. So now moving on to Mr. Aman, what would be your advice to the freshers?
Yeah, I mean, see, talking about the freshers, right? So when you guys come, I mean, specifically the freshers, first year में enthusiasm बहुत होता है. I've seen that and I've experienced it myself as well. तो enthusiasm को channel करो, right? You have all that enthusiasm. So be energetic and participate in everything that you can get your hands on. As I said, first year is all about getting exposure to everything that you can get, exposure to. So that, and build your LinkedIn. I mean, I cannot stress this enough. I still have people who are in third year, who I know people in fourth year, and वो बोलते हैं कि यार अब तो LinkedIn बनाया नहीं, अभी job ढूंढना थोड़ी है. It doesn't work that way. तो तुम्हें कल job ढूंढना है, you're not supposed to make your LinkedIn one day before. Your LinkedIn also shows your process, right? It shows your journey. तो वो तुम्हें day one से करना है, and use it as a journal. You go to a hackathon, you participate in any sort of hackathon. तुम आओ, you come back from the hackathon, you say, ठीक है, you didn't win any prize, you probably came second last. Doesn't matter. You come back home, you make a post, you say that I participated in this hackathon, I learned so and so, and these were my failures as well. You mention your failures as well. No one is going to judge you for it, as long as you did learn something, which you definitely will, as Tia said. So focus on building your LinkedIn from day one. So especially the freshers, I would say कि आज ही जाओ LinkedIn बनाओ जिसके पास नहीं है. That is the most important step, I would say, because LinkedIn not only it gives an insight to your recruiters or whatever, your peers, but you yourself, when you look back at your posts, you look back at your achievements, you'll realize कि हाँ यार मैंने भी इतना सब किया है, मैंने भी ये सीखा है. That will also give you a sort of time travel जैसे तुम्हें मिल जाएगा कि वो यार 2 साल पहले मैंने किया था DSA competition या जो भी किया था. So that will be fruitful to you. So I would just say कि build your LinkedIn and be energetic. Those 2 points are, I think, what will sail you through 2 years at least, the initial 2 years. बाद में जाके you can specialize, right?
So I mean, since we are running out of time. Okay. So just one last question, and for both the teams, that what would be your suggestions for the team participating this year in the Solutions Challenge? So first to team Proctify.
So, according to me, one should focus on presentation. हम actually जब हम सारे coding engineering से हैं तो coding background से हैं तो हम जो अपने presentation का जो phase है ना वो थोड़ा सा neglect कर देते हैं. But I think presentation एक ऐसी चीज है जिससे हम अपनी जो थॉट है, अपने आइडिया है, उसको हम लोगों तक पहुंचा पा रहे हैं. कोई हमारा पहले प्रोडक्ट नहीं देखेगा, वो हमारी प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट देखेगा, तो उसको भी हम कैसे प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं. We should focus on that, I think. Yeah.
And Mr. Rahman, what are your views?
I mean, see, again, if people are participating in the solution challenge this year, right? If you're looking to participate, so obviously there are the United Nations goals. There's all the technicalities. You have to use minimum one Google backed up project technology or whatever it is. So what technicalities तो तुम्हें पता भी होंगी. What I would personally want you guys to focus on if you're going to participate is that be organic. जैसे कि तुम इसीलिए मत करो कि your motive is to just win something or you're being fake just to get something out of it. I would just say be organic. Let fate decide if your efforts were worth it. Right? You put in your best. You put in the best of your ideas. You put your best minds to it. You put your best technical skills to it. And then if fate doesn't have something good in it for you, then maybe it just means that you need to try better next time. But be organic with your idea and be organic with the process. Don't cheat. Don't try to find loopholes. कि ठीक है यार हम एक लाइन कोड अगर ज्यादा नहीं लिखेंगे ये तो कौन देखने वाला है. Don't do that. You're cheating yourself. Be organic and be real, because that will help you. Trust me. Even in the long run, you will be satisfied with your project, and I think that is a bigger feeling than actually winning something, than being satisfied. So yes, definitely focus on that.
And Miss Tia, would you love to add something to this? Your opinions?
Sure. First things first, enjoy the process. It's going to be an awesome twosome journey for you all. You will be making some amazing friends, amazing team, good brainstorming sessions. So think of the beauty that you're going to get. As Aman said, jeetna harna to baat ki baat hai, but it is all about how you are getting started. So one thing is that. Second thing is take your project to, if possible, take it to multiple hacks. जैसे हमारा project ऐसा था कि physiotherapy patients था, तो actually में आप test नहीं कर सकते physiotherapy के patients पे, because of course कुछ भी करने में physiotherapy में let's say frozen shoulder ही है तो it will take at least 2 weeks. तो इतना टाइम नहीं हो सकता कि आप टेस्ट करो. तो अगर आप कुछ ऐसा आप बना रहे हो कि आप नहीं टेस्ट कर पा रहे पब्लिक पे पूरी तरीके से, तो मे बी टेक इनटू मल्टीपल हैक्स. वहां के जजेस से भी आपको इनपुट्स मिल रहे होंगे, आपको पता लगेगा कि ओके दीज आर द लूपहोल्स, वी शुड फिक्स दिस. Thirdly, I cannot emphasize more, but presentation is very important. See, no one will be interested in the ingredients until your food tastes like food का smell is good, right? So unless आपने कुछ ऐसा बना दिया है ना कि अब तो बॉस गूगल wants to know कि आपने इम्प्लीमेंट कैसे किया, वो तब जाके कोड पे आएंगे. कोड पे इतना वो नहीं होना चाहिए कि आपको बिल्कुल बेस्ट टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज इधर फट रहा है उधर फट रहा है. ऑफकोर्स फटना तो रॉन्ग वर्ड, बट इट्स लाइक आपका कोड ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप अल्टीमेट फिनिश को की तरफ जाके बना रहे हो. वो आप करो, बट एट द सेम टाइम प्रेजेंटेशन, वाउचिंग फॉर योर प्रोडक्ट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. गूगल इज एट द टॉप, राइट? उनके पास देखने के लिए आपके पास 50 लाख प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं. तो आप अपने आइडिया को कैसे प्रेजेंट कर रहे हो कि पूरी इंडिया में से वो सोचे कि यार इस प्रोजेक्ट को तो उठाना पड़ेगा. सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट हाउ यू आर प्रेजेंटिंग. लाइक ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप लास्ट के एक दिन में बैठ के वीडियो बना के सबमिट कर दिया. आप प्रॉपर स्क्रिप्ट बनाओ कि ठीक है, दिस इज द कंटेंट, दिस इज द फीचर, दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम. आप समझ रहे हो, एक प्रॉपर वीडियो का फ्लो होना चाहिए टू वाउच फॉर योर प्रोडक्ट. एंड आई थिंक दैट इज द टाइम जब आपने इस काम को अच्छा किया है ना, तब जाकर के आपका कोड पे कोई जाएगा. सो पे इक्वल अटेंशन टू हाउ यू आर प्रेजेंटिंग. दैट्स आई थिंक द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग दैट वी लर्न. एंड that presentation is where we think we fail and global और ऊंचा नहीं उठ पाया अपना, but presentation पे ध्यान दो. Bottom line is.
And Miss Aditi?
Yeah, I would just agree with all the points that these three have put up. Presentation most important, and I think one important thing in this solution challenge is that this is a global hackathon. So like, can you imagine the amount of participants coming in? So think that way. Ki what you're putting forward, it has to have some uniqueness to it, right? Something real inside it. Like, don't just pick up the UN goals and make a project around it. Explore big, right? You need to look around yourself and see what is the problem that you can solve. That would add the uniqueness part. I think Aman mentioned that, the be organic one. I think that is really important. And presentation, definitely. And presentation, because solution challenge way, they give you a lot of descriptive questions to answer. So I think it is very important that all these questions, you give like proper thought to it. They should be like, invest time in it. Like, don't just rush through the questions, because they carry a lot of presentation marks. So I think that is one thing that you won't experience in other hackathons, just in solution challenge. Those questions, we gave around a week to those questions to finalize them, finish them, refine them, to put forward our best answers.
I just wanted to add to it, since we've reached the end of the session and we'll be wrapping it up with the closing remarks. I just wanted to say that it's so wonderful to see you guys being passionate about whatever you're doing, and you're so committed, and the teamwork that you're doing, and you're so passionate about everything. It's really inspiring for all of us. Personally, for me, I can see how your passion has led to whatever you're working on. So thank you so much for being here, and for spending time with us and answering all of the questions.
Yeah, definitely. It was a pleasure, for sure.
Thank you. I think
And I would-
the closing remarks.
I would love to thank all of you. Like, it was really great talking with you, and it was really insightful. I'm definitely sure, like, everyone who has joined us today, they would have learned something new from you guys and your experience. And it was a lovely meeting you all.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely it was a privilege to hear from all of you. And to our audience, we hope you enjoyed today's session and learned something new. And thanks for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much again.
Oh, guys, thank you for having us.
Okay, then I think we can end the meet now, right? Thank you, guys. Thank you for
Sure.
attending the session.
Thank you, everyone.
Good.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye guys.
Bye.